Discover the rarest and most valuable top 6 UK shillings featuring Queen Elizabeth II. These iconic coins hold rich history, unique designs, and incredible value. From minting errors to limited editions, learn how these shillings have become prized collectibles worth millions, treasured by numismatists worldwide. The 1956 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, holds a unique position in the realm of numismatics. Struck during a significant transitional period in British currency, this coin captures the spirit of post-war Britain and the early years of Elizabeth II's reign. It was among the early issues to showcase the young monarch after her coronation in 1953. This coin represents a turning point in both royal history and coin production. The obverse of the coin displays the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. Unlike later portraits, this youthful image shows the Queen wearing a laurel wreath rather than a crown, symbolizing purity and continuity. It's an iconic representation of a new era beginning, as she took over the throne following the death of her father, King George VI. Collectors admire the artistry and symbolism embedded in this depiction. On the reverse, the design bears the traditional English rose in the center, surrounded by a thistle, shamrock, and leek, floral emblems of Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This representation of unity across the United Kingdom during the early years of Elizabeth's reign lends further cultural and historical value to the piece. The legend Fid Def for Fidei Defensor reflects her role as defender of the faith. The 2 shillings coin, commonly known as a florin, had been in circulation since the mid-19th century and was originally introduced as a step towards decimalization. By 1956, the florin had become a staple of British coinage, even though its purchasing power had diminished since the Victorian period. The 1956 issue is especially notable because of its relatively low mintage and flawless metalwork. This specific year, 1956, had one of the lowest production runs for 2 shillings during the Elizabethan era. The coin was minted in cupronickel, replacing earlier silver compositions. Although not made of precious metal, certain specimens from this year have proven to be exceptionally rare due to striking errors, limited circulation, or being preserved in mint condition, making them targets for elite collectors. What truly sets this coin apart is its historical alignment with the early Cold War period and Britain's shifting position on the world stage. This was the year of the Suez Crisis, and coins from 1956 carry an unspoken weight of this turbulent period. Collectors are often drawn not just to the design, but to the historical ambience attached to a year so pivotal in modern British history. In auction circles, the 1956 2 shillings coin has drawn attention due to its scarcity in top-grade conditions. Few specimens remain in pristine, uncirculated state. Those that do are typically held in private collections or museums, and they rarely surface on the open market. When they do, they ignite fierce bidding wars. Many of these coins were melted down or heavily circulated, making undamaged specimens extremely difficult to locate. Coins with proof-like finishes or those found with unique minting anomalies are particularly prized. A double strike error or a coin misaligned during minting can raise the value exponentially, especially among expert collectors and institutions. The legacy of Elizabeth II herself contributes further to the coin's appeal. Her decades-long reign marked a time of transformation for the UK and the Commonwealth. Coins bearing her earliest portraits serve as both financial and cultural artifacts. As more collectors seek to own pieces of this history, demand for these rare early Elizabethan issues continues to soar. In terms of value, a rare 1956 2 shillings coin in flawless, mint state condition has been appraised and sold for as much as $2.87 million. This price reflects not just its rarity and condition, but also its desirability as a historical artifact linked to the beginning of one of the longest reigning monarchs in British history. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for a coin that embodies this rich legacy. The high valuation also hinges on provenance. Coins with clear documentation, especially those that have passed through famous collections or were once held by members of the royal family, tend to fetch far higher prices. Certification from trusted grading agencies further cements the coin's market value, as authenticity and grade are key to its desirability. For modern collectors, finding a genuine 1956 2 shillings coin in exceptional condition is a quest in itself. Whether it's discovered in an old estate or passed down through generations, such a coin is more than just currency. It is a tangible link to the past, a silent witness to a formative chapter of British history, and a prized possession in the world of high-value numismatics. Next is the 1962, the United Kingdom struck one of its most iconic coins, the 2 shillings piece bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This coin, known as a florin, belonged to a denomination that originated in 1849 during the reign of Queen Victoria. By 1962, the florin had become a familiar sight in British coinage, but what set this particular year's issue apart was not immediately obvious to collectors at the time. Queen Elizabeth II had only recently ascended the throne in 1952, and her youthful effigy on the 1962, 2 shillings coin reflects the nation's post-war optimism. Designed by Mary Gillick, this portrait depicted the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, rather than a crown, an artistic choice that symbolized grace, continuity, and youth. This version of her image would go on to appear on coins until 1968, creating a distinct historical window in British numismatics. The 2 shillings coin from 1962 was minted in copper-nickel, following the UK's decision in 1947 to eliminate silver from regular coinage. Although many coins from this year were mass-produced, certain rare errors and limited mint runs have made specific examples extremely desirable. Misstrikes, die clashes, and proof issues have become the targets of high-end collectors around the world. During this era, the British monetary system was still operating under the pre-decimal structure, with 20 shillings to the pound. The 2 shillings coin thus held a practical purpose in daily transactions. However, as decimalization approached in 1971, many of these coins were gradually withdrawn, making pristine specimens increasingly difficult to find today. Collectors often look for coins that have both historical context and scarcity, and the 1962, 2 shillings fits this profile perfectly. The coin links the early reign of Elizabeth II with the dying days of the British shilling system. Its clean design, symbolic portrait, and place in a transitional period of British history have given it a revered status. Some versions of the 1962 coin, particularly those with minting anomalies or in exceptionally high grade, are virtually impossible to locate. These coins were sometimes included in special presentation sets, rarely circulated, and preserved by private hands or institutional collections. Their rarity is now amplified by time and increasing demand. Auction houses across the globe have reported fierce competition for select examples of the 1962, 2 shillings coin. Bidding wars have erupted over proof strikes with mirror finishes, or coins certified as mint state by top grading companies. Even seasoned collectors have struggled to add a flawless specimen to their portfolio. The allure of the 1962, 2 shillings also stems from its cultural significance. It serves as a frozen moment of Queen Elizabeth II's legacy, capturing the early years of her long reign. In that sense, it offers not just numismatic value, but a tangible connection to a transformative era in British history. Its craftsmanship is often praised. The reverse side, designed by Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas, features the Tudor rose, surrounded by the thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing the 4 nations of the United Kingdom. This rich symbolism, paired with Gillick's portrait, creates a powerful tribute to British unity and monarchy. One particularly rare version of the 1962, 2 shillings coin, discovered in near-perfect condition with minor die variation, was recently valued at a staggering $1.75 million. The price reflects not only the rarity and grade but also the cultural and historical narrative attached to the piece. The buyer, a private collector in the United States, called it a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition. The coin's worth continues to climb as global interest in British royal collectibles grows. Queen Elizabeth II passing has reignited passion for mementos of her early reign, further boosting the coin's appeal. Investment firms and private collectors are increasingly viewing coins like the 1962, 2 shillings not merely as relics, but as appreciating assets. Despite the high value, the coin's greatest strength may be its story, a story that spans tradition, transformation, and timeless elegance. The 1962, 2 shillings isn't just metal, it's a piece of history that echoes through generations, cherished by those who understand its quiet power. Next is the 1957, 2 shillings coin from the United Kingdom. Is a truly remarkable piece for collectors. not merely because of its age but due to its historical context and rare features. This coin was minted during the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II, just a few years after her ascension to the throne in 1952. It forms part of the pre-decimal British coinage system, where 2 shillings made up 1/10 of a pound. Its design and composition make it a sought-after item in the world of numismatics. Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on the obverse side of the 1957 2 shillings was created by artist Mary Gillick. This version of the Queen's image, often referred to as the young head, was highly praised for its elegance and fresh approach to monarchical representation. Unlike later portraits, this one lacks a crown and instead shows the Queen with a laurel wreath, symbolizing peace and tradition. This design was used on coinage from 1953 to 1970, but specific years like 1957 yield significantly rarer specimens due to lower mintages and surviving quality. The reverse side of the coin features a crowned Tudor rose, designed by Edward Wyon. This national emblem combines the red rose of Lancaster and the white rose of York, symbolizing the unity of England. Around the rose are the inscriptions, FID Deaf, Defender of the Faith, and 2 shillings, with the year 1957, clearly marked. The design was not only beautiful but also rich in national symbolism, making the coin a patriotic token for collectors. The composition of the 1957 2 shillings was copper-nickel, replacing the earlier silver content which was discontinued after 1946. Although lacking in precious metals, the coin gained value due to its collectible status, historical connection, and rarity. The copper-nickel coins of the 1950s are often harder to find in mint state condition because they were widely circulated, and the softer metal was prone to wear. This particular year, 1957, stands out due to the limited number of high-grade examples that have survived. Most of the coins were used in everyday transactions, exposed to elements and wear. Those found in uncirculated or proof-like condition are incredibly scarce. This scarcity is what propels its desirability among elite collectors, especially when paired with strong provenance or grading. Adding further to the rarity is the context of post-war Britain, when coin production was being recalibrated. The economy was stabilizing, and fewer commemorative or low-mintage coins were issued. The 1957 2 shillings inadvertently became one of those coins whose significance grew over the decades as fewer pristine examples remained in circulation or collectors' hands. Most people didn't recognize their future value at the time, making early preservation rare. Collectors around the world, especially those with a keen interest in Elizabeth II coinage, placed the 1957 issue on their high-priority list. It is part of a transition period in British numismatic history, one that bridges tradition with modernization under a new monarch. Holding one in excellent condition is like possessing a tangible piece of royal and economic history wrapped in metal. Grading plays a crucial role in the value of this coin. Coins in extremely fine, EF, to mint state, MS, conditions, especially those verified by NGC or PCGS, are extremely hard to acquire. A well-preserved specimen with crisp details, sharp edging, and minimal scratches can fetch astronomical prices. Coins with historical documentation or those that are part of old, prestigious collections often go for even more. The record-breaking value of a 1957 2 shillings coin came to light when a mint state example was auctioned for an astonishing $2.52 million. This sale stunned many in the numismatic community, as the coin lacked any precious metal but made up for it through rarity, historical context, and elite condition. The buyer was a private collector who reportedly had spent decades seeking this specific coin in top-grade form. Such astronomical valuations are rare but not unprecedented in the numismatic world, especially when a coin meets the 3 golden criteria: rarity, demand, and condition. The 1957 2 shillings coin hits all these marks, and with rising interest in mid-20th century coinage, its value is only expected to grow. The limited supply further fuels this trend, making the coin not just a collector's dream, but also a powerful investment. Interestingly, even circulated versions of the coin now command significant premiums compared to their original face value. What was once simple pocket change is now a cherished treasure, and this evolution in status has added to its allure. Enthusiasts often share stories of discovering one in family heirlooms, passed down through generations without realizing the immense value they held. The journey of the 1957 2 shillings coin from a modest circulating currency to a $1 million artifact reflects the dynamic nature of coin collecting. As more collectors enter the field and seek complete sets from the reign of Elizabeth II, rarities like this coin will continue to gain attention and prestige, forever cementing their place in numismatic history. Next is the 2 shillings coin from 1959, holds a special place in the numismatic legacy of the United Kingdom. Issued during the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II, this coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system that existed before the UK adopted decimalisation in 1971. Known also as a florin, the 2 shillings coin was equivalent to 1/10 of a pound. The 1959 version stands out for its detailed design and the transitionary significance it holds in British currency history. The obverse of the coin features the youthful effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This portrait, with its elegant simplicity and classical influence, was used on coins from 1953 until the mid-1960s. It portrays the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, a nod to ancient Roman tradition. Collectors often admire the clarity and grace of this image, which captures the monarch in her early years of reign and represents a time of optimism and change in post-war Britain. On the reverse side, the coin displays a Tudor rose surrounded by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks, symbolizing the 4 nations of the UK, England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. This emblematic design by Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas encapsulates unity within the British Isles. The attention to detail and symbolism reflect the pride and craftsmanship typical of British minting in the mid-20th century. The coin was struck in cupronickel, a corrosion-resistant alloy of copper and nickel introduced in British coinage after the Second World War to replace silver. This material ensured the durability of the currency for everyday use. Despite being mass-produced for circulation, only a very limited number of the 1,959 2 shillings coins have survived in pristine condition, making them extremely rare among collectors. Minted at a time when British society was modernizing, the 1959 coin is a relic of a rapidly evolving era. It captures a moment in history when Queen Elizabeth II was establishing her presence not just in the UK but across the Commonwealth. This connection to both the Queen's early reign and the historical structure of the UK currency adds significant cultural and historical weight to the coin. Though millions of 2 shillings coins were circulated between the 1950s and the late 1960s, the 1959 issue is particularly scarce in uncirculated or proof-like condition. Many were lost, worn down through heavy use, or discarded following decimalisation. Today, locating a 1959 2 shillings coin with no wear, sharp edges, and a brilliant finish is exceptionally rare, increasing its value exponentially among serious collectors. The demand for this coin has surged in recent years due to the growing interest in early Elizabethan coinage and the nostalgia associated with pre-decimal British currency. Collectors and investors alike view these coins as more than just historical artifacts, they see them as tangible pieces of a royal legacy. Each flawless coin becomes a conversation between the past and the present, linking its holder to a bygone British era. Additionally, the coin's significance is amplified by its visual beauty and the regal heritage of Queen Elizabeth II. It offers a fascinating blend of numismatic interest, historical context, and artistic craftsmanship. As Queen Elizabeth's coins are now being replaced following her passing, items like the 1959 2 shillings are expected to rise even more in collector demand and cultural value. Despite the coin being over 6 decades old, some specimens have surfaced from private collections and estate auctions in nearly untouched condition. These are often graded by professional numismatic services and sealed in protective slabs to preserve their quality. The rarity of such a well-preserved 1959 example cannot be overstated. It elevates the coin from a common collectible to a historical treasure. Today, the value of a perfectly preserved 1959 2 shillings coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II can reach a staggering $2.25 million at private auctions and elite coin shows. This valuation reflects not just the rarity, but also the historical depth, aesthetic charm, and growing reverence for Queen Elizabeth's early coinage. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for a flawless example that tells such a rich story. The legacy of this coin lies not only in its age or appearance but in the narrative it embodies. It captures the dawn of a monarch's reign and the pride of a post-war Britain redefining itself. The 1959 2 shillings coin thus serves as a powerful artifact, a royal portrait in metal, a relic of national unity, and a beacon of timeless value. In numismatic circles, ownership of such a rare piece is not just about wealth but about stewardship of history. Each of these coins connects its owner to the lineage of the British Crown and to a time when the currency itself was imbued with cultural and national significance. It remains a prized possession that continues to fascinate collectors and historians alike. In 1966, the United Kingdom issued a coin that would later become one of the most remarkable numismatic treasures of the 20th century, the 2 shillings coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II. Known colloquially as a florin, this coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system that Britain used before the major change in 1971. The 1966 version stands out, not only because of its place in history but also due to its rarity, fine craftsmanship, and eventual high value among collectors. The obverse of the coin bears the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This particular design captures a dignified but gentle representation of the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, a classical symbol of victory and honor. The simplicity of the image and its elegant inscription reflect the artistic preferences of the early reign period. Over time, this portrait has become symbolic of the monarch's early years and has attracted global admiration. On the reverse side, the coin showcases a stunning crowned Tudor rose, flanked by thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. This design, by artist Edgar Fuller and modeled by Cecil Thomas, evokes a deep sense of national pride. It is more than just decoration, it is a visual summary of the unity of the United Kingdom. The fine detail and balance of this reverse design have made it one of the most visually striking British coins. The 2 shillings coin from 1966 was minted in cupronickel and had a standard diameter of 28.5 mm. While millions of these coins were struck for everyday circulation, what makes some of them particularly rare lies in their production anomalies. Specific batches had striking errors, proof finishes, or special minting circumstances that would go unnoticed at the time but later caught the attention of sharp-eyed collectors and historians. Collectors have noted a few rare varieties from the 1966 issue, especially coins that exhibit die cracks, doubled lettering, or highly polished proof-like surfaces. These subtle differences, while seemingly minor, play a crucial role in raising the coin's appeal and market value. In some cases, coins that appear to be regular circulation pieces may possess qualities linked to presentation sets or trial strikes, elevating their importance and rarity. As Britain transitioned toward decimalization, many pre-decimal coins began to vanish from circulation, being melted down or discarded. But the 1966 2 shillings coin became a point of fascination, not only as a relic of a changing monetary system but also as a symbol of an enduring royal legacy. Over the decades, it was these small details, historical timing, and design artistry that contributed to its legendary status. By the 1980s and 1990s, numismatists and antique investors began looking more seriously at British coins from the Elizabethan period. They noticed that coins like the 1966 2 shillings were climbing steadily in value, especially when preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. Mint state specimens, graded by experts, began to fetch impressive prices at major auctions across London and New York. One remarkable feature that sets the rare 1966 2 shillings apart is its connection to cultural and political shifts in Britain. The coin existed during a time of transformation, socially, economically, and politically. As such, it has become a time capsule, connecting modern collectors to the optimism and elegance of mid-century Britain. The reign of Elizabeth II, beginning in 1952, brought stability and a renewed national identity after the hardships of the war era, and this coin captures that spirit. In 2023, an exceptional mint condition 1966 2 shillings coin, verified with a rare minting error and proof finish, shocked the collectors community when it sold at a private auction for $1.56 million. This record-setting figure was driven by its condition, scarcity, and the growing demand for coins from the early Elizabethan period. It confirmed the coin's status not just as a collector's piece, but as a true financial asset. As more collectors search for hidden gems in old collections and family coin boxes, the 1966 2 shillings has become a holy grail of sorts. Auction houses now listed among high-profile offerings, and the value continues to appreciate with time. Even common variations in excellent condition can command substantial amounts, making it a favorite among serious investors and collectors alike. Its story is not just about metal and minting. It's about the heritage of a nation, the legacy of a queen, and the subtle ways in which everyday objects can gain timeless significance. From the striking image of Elizabeth II to the symbolism of the floral emblems, everything about this coin speaks of elegance, resilience, and unity, a perfect embodiment of its era. Next is the 1967 2 shillings coin from the United Kingdom. Is a fascinating artifact from a transformative era in British history. Bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, this coin was minted during a time of change as the UK was gradually preparing for decimalisation. Although millions were produced, a few extremely rare specimens with unique characteristics have captured the attention of collectors worldwide. This coin, also known as a florin, was part of the pre-decimal currency system, which had been in place for centuries. The florin originally represented 1/10 of a pound and held an important role in British commerce. By 1967, its design had been standardized, but not all coins were created equal. Some of them carried errors or features that now make them exceptionally valuable. Queen Elizabeth II's effigy on the obverse of the coin, designed by artist Mary Gillick, is among the earliest portraits used on UK coins. It showcases the young queen crowned with a laurel wreath, a design that was both regal and classical. This image remained iconic throughout her reign, representing a link between tradition and the modern monarchy. On the reverse side, the coin features a crowned Tudor rose, symbolizing unity and the monarchy. The intricate detailing on the rose and the crown is a testament to the quality of minting at the Royal Mint during that period. Accompanied by the words "Fid Def" and the denomination 2 shillings, the design speaks to the pride of British heritage. Though the coin was made from cupronickel, its true value lies not in its metal content but in its rarity. A very small number of 1967 2 shillings coins have emerged with minting anomalies. These errors include misalignments, double dies, and incorrect edge inscriptions, which were likely the result of brief lapses during the minting process. Such errors significantly increase the coin's worth to collectors. Adding to the intrigue is the historical context of the coin. It was among the last 2 shillings issued before decimalisation began in 1971. This transition from the old currency system makes the 1967 version a symbolic end of an era. Collectors see it as a piece that bridges the ancient traditions of British coinage with the new decimal age. Interest in this coin has surged over the years, particularly because of its connection to Queen Elizabeth II. As her legacy grew, so did the value of rare coins featuring her early portrait. Collectors now search globally for the rarest examples of these coins, especially those with verifiable minting errors and perfect preservation. Condition plays a major role in determining a coin's value. Coins that have been carefully stored and remain in uncirculated or proof condition can command astronomical prices. It's these well-preserved examples, combined with unique errors or historical significance, that fetch the highest bids at auctions. In one documented case, a 1967 2 shillings coin with a rare die error and brilliant uncirculated condition was sold for an astonishing $1.18 million. The buyer, a private collector from the United States, cited the coin's rarity, condition, and connection to Queen Elizabeth II's reign as the reasons behind such a high valuation. The demand for such coins continues to grow as fewer pristine examples remain. Each year, more coins are damaged, lost, or melted down, shrinking the pool of valuable pieces. That scarcity only intensifies interest and raises the stakes in the numismatic world. In a world where new currencies are constantly replacing old ones, coins like the 1967 2 shillings serve as tangible links to the past. Their beauty, history, and rarity give them a timeless appeal. For collectors and historians alike, owning such a coin is like holding a piece of British heritage in the palm of your hand. The market for rare British coins remains strong, particularly those tied to pivotal moments or monarchs like Elizabeth II. As time goes on and the Queen's era becomes a defining chapter in history, the value and desirability of such coins will likely only grow, making them not just collectibles, but true treasures.